So as you know, the initial backup is the most intensive, and with desktops and laptops, it can take a number of hours, it can take a number of days, it can take a number of weeks. As you move to backing up servers and business applications, the time it takes to back up to the cloud can be weeks, if not months. And a lot of backup vendors don't like to talk about the dirty little secret of online backup, which is restore. And especially if there's been a catastrophe in the organization, it can take just as long to restore data as it did to backup data. So today's practical environment really needs a disk to cloud backup solution. So a hybrid solution is really what end customers are looking for today. What are you finding in terms of your research in terms of disk to cloud backup?
We're finding the exact same thing. In our research, when we survey and when we talk to end user customers and providers alike, this is increasingly coming to the forefront. And it's largely around performance. And you're right, the initial ingest is one thing, but once you're up and running, you kind of put incremental data up into the cloud and everything's running well. And if you need to restore, a file here and there, or if a server goes down and you need to restore that, that's one thing. But in the case of a true disaster, a fire or a flood, you're right, the dirty little secret is that the restore can take a tremendous amount of time. So we're finding hybrid solutions take hold, and that can mean different things for different organizations. For small organizations, it may mean backing up to a local copy to an appliance, and then using that appliance as a staging area to further back up into the cloud. For larger organizations, it could mean that using appliances and other tying into traditional backup solutions. But increasingly, there is this notion of developing private clouds in larger enterprise. And so whether it's a small organization who's deploying an appliance or a larger organization who's trying to invest more in a private cloud model, either way, I think the key is having a seamless migration, if you will, a seamless transition from the on-premises solution to the off-premises solution. So I think solutions like KineticD that offer the same platform for your on-premises solution as well as the off-premise is going to be really attractive to organizations moving forward.
We find businesses and how they are organized is changing quite dramatically. And I'll give you an example. There are many organizations where people come to a central office, but at the same time you have people working from home, you have a distributed workforce in terms of IT and salespeople. So for our solution, what we're really focused on is having that hybrid solution within the network that agentlessly backs up all those devices within the network and then syncs to the cloud, but at the same time having a continuous client to be able to address all of those workers that are distributed and working outside of the more traditional office environment, so they can actually have the freedom and also the ability to back up their data directly to the cloud, and at the same time, if they accidentally lose a file or their hard drive fails, they in fact can access that data directly from the cloud without having to use internal IT resources or having to rely on the IT team to restore that data to a new machine.
Right. That single platform and the ability to manage all of that, hybrid activity from a single platform really speaks to two of the areas of concern that enterprises have and small businesses as well in terms of moving to the cloud. And that's around ease of use and reliability. So, having that single platform certainly provides the ease of use. But also having that single platform enables the reliability. You have less levers and things to tweak, especially among disparate, vendors providing different elements of a solution. When you have a coherent one platform that provides all that you need to manage that hybrid activity, it really improves the reliability and the comfort level for the end users.
With KineticD's hybrid backup solution, we have the ability to download the client onto a server within the network, and it's hardware agnostic. And we have the ability to then back up all the devices agentlessly throughout the organization. So that could be other servers, that could be a desktop or a laptop. And if it is a server, backing up things like Exchange, SQL, not only physical environments, but also virtual environments.
Absolutely. And the notion of hybrid can have multiple meanings here. So it can mean that you're talking about two different locations, meaning on-premises and off-premises. But to me, it also really encapsulates the idea that you can manage your entire environment. Some of that environment is on-prem, and some of that environment is off-site. And it can mean some of the data is off-site and some of the data is on-prem. But also the mixing and matching and location of the applications themselves. So it's not just about where the data lives, but what types of applications you're backing up and providing storage for, and where they are residing as well.
Yes, it's a great point. In fact, with the local backup solution, a lot of businesses are quite happy to, in fact, back up a business application to be able to restore that in system state form if there's a catastrophe.
Right.
But obviously backing up an application to the cloud would take a lot of time. It would be very costly. So having that hybrid solution allows them to be flexible with the different types of data that they're having to deal with in a business environment.
Absolutely. As we said before, the cloud is not necessarily for every bit of data out there. So it's up to the customers and your partners and the managed service providers who are delivering these services to help the customer understand what's appropriate for the cloud, what's appropriate for on-prem, and then have a solution that encompasses all of that and be able to provide a means for the customer to manage all of that together.
Yes. So as we move further up the small business chain, what we find is that IT administrators are looking for a much more granular scheduling, specifically with servers. It really has to do with things you touched on earlier, whether it be internal compliance policies or regulations or simply retention policies for the organization. So being able to have that granular scheduling flexibility is really helpful as we move further up the small business chain.
Absolutely. It's a level of control. And as I said earlier, the beauty of cloud is that you can offload a lot of the things you don't want to manage. But that doesn't necessarily mean that organizations want to offload everything or give up control. So providing a platform that allows the administrators who are managing the cloud environment, the granularity and those levels of control are something that's going to be very attractive to all of your customers.
And as data is outside the network and being backed up, and as data is being backed up locally, it's great that IT administrators have the ability through one central web management console to be able to manage across their entire organization.
The single platform is key, and I think that's key to the ease of use and key to ultimately the reliability of the solution.
Yes.